The Western Line. Zones. Zone 10. The road to Baggator. Overview. Tours and features. Welcome to the zone videos for the Western Line of Dartmoor. The 10th zone is the tours northeast of the village of Peter Tavy, west of the Western Line. It consists of these tours: rocks, crags and hills, Smith Hill Tour, Baggator, Lynch Tour, the Limsborough, Standon Hill, Standon Ledge. Best approach and route. This zone covers an elongated area spanning from Peter Tavy in its southwest to Standon Ledge in its northeast. To hike this zone, come off the A386 road at the turning for Harford Bridge, a small hamlet with a large campsite, then continue on the road and through the village of Peter Tavy and out the other side. The church will be passed on your left as you leave the village. Beyond this is a long narrow road through the hamlet of Cudlip Town and ending at Baggator Farm. From here you can begin to navigate. Feature 92. Smith Hill Tour at around 260 metres. Following the aforementioned road out of Peter Tavy to its northeast, you eventually come through Cudlip Town, an area of mild housing. Take the only possible right turn off the road you've been travelling on, which will eventually dead end, but before that it passes, visible through the trees on your left, Smith Hill Tour, a moderate cluster of rocks under some large trees. Find a place to stop your car and turn a little further on from the tour where a small stream off to the side forms a ford over a track. From there, as you can see, it is only a few metres to walk gently downhill to where you passed the tour. Smith Hill Tour requires a tiny few metres slope climbing to be up atop its rocks amongst the several large tree trunks that surround it. Depending on the thickness of leaves on the trees and time of year, you may be able to see the top of Gibbet Hill from the summit of this modest tour. Feature 93. Baggator at 372 metres. Follow the road out of Peter Tavy, but do not turn off right at Cudlip Town, nor left to Hill Bridge. Stay on the road until its end. This road is narrow and challenging if vehicles are coming the other way. Keep an eye out for pull-in points where the road widens. When you reach the end, there is a gate. You can open this and park in the fair-sized space just after it. You can already see Baggator directly ahead of you and very close to the car parking area. It is a simple, short, steep climb up from here to its summit. On top, you may notice a cross carved into the granite rock, a steeper side down toward the boundaries of the farms, and, towering high above you, the monster of Standon Hill, which is a particularly impressive view from this outcrop. You may also notice looking back behind you that a track leads from the car park to a large military firing hut. Feature 94. Lynch Tour at around 500 metres. Get yourself to Baggator, as mentioned in the previous chapter of this guide. Take the track from Baggator Farm public car parking up to the military range hut east of it, but do take care not to startle the several bulls that frequent this field. Better to give them a wide berth if you see them. By the range hut is a gate. Go through this and close it behind you. You are in a long gravelly channel, often used to herd sheep in from the moors. Follow this between the two walls and exit where it widens out onto the open moor. There is a small wood in a private field left of you that looks circular from above. The next two tours are neighbours and tower above you now to the east-northeast. My recommendation is to head fairly directly for the leftmost stacks of Lynch Tour first, which are closer. On the way up, you may have to cross a V-shaped indented groove in the ground. Despite its valley-like shape, This is the line of an old pony track for miners. The rocks of Lynch Tor are an iconic standout viewpoint here and provide excellent views over the road you drove in on, as well as Baggator, the circular forest, and Standon Hill across the stream known as Baggator Brook. Feature 95, the Limsborough, at 517 metres. Use the previous step of the guide to place yourself at Lynch Tor and the peculiarly named Limsborough Tor, with its cairn, is only a short walk away, southeast across mostly level plateau land. A distinctive, rounded-looking rock here sits perched above a large cairn and a flagpole, which upon closer inspection is not rounded, but more of a Logan stone, which is a balancing stone. This is an area of firm ground, with several curiosities to be explored on top, including a second rock stack further east. Turning to the inner moor, you are looking in the general direction of the source of the River Walkham. Feature 96, Standon Hill, at 485 metres. There are several ways to approach all tours, and Standon Hill is no different. Some may wish to do it from the fields near Standon Farm, and Coffin Wood from Willsworthy Village near Lane End. I personally advise staying in this zone and approaching from Lynch Tor. Get yourself to Lynch Tor. Standon will be very visible northwest of you here. Between you and it, you may be able to make out a hawthorn tree, which stands prominently at the time of writing this guide. Walk downhill, crossing again the V-cleft of the pony track, heading for that tree, which is an excellent landmark. The hawthorn tree stands between the two parallel lines of a mild bog stream, which is very agreeable to cross compared with many others on Dartmoor, and the stream Baggator Brook, which is more difficult to cross. After deft-footed negotiation of the bog stream, climb down the firm grassy crater ground and make your way to the tree. From here you need to cross the brook, and you can do so with some ease at a ford more to the northeast of this, or directly by the tree over a rock and then with some difficulty up some reed-populated slopes. The tricky part is over. Now head up to the clearing ahead of you, which is the start of a grassy track to the top. It gently curves leftward and to the west as it goes, crosses a very easy bog stream, and then the track transitions into trackless, firm grassy ground soon after. Keep going up at this section and you'll eventually see military range huts and the rocks on top of this hill. Looking at a map, Standon Hill, like its nearby sibling, the Amycombe Hill, is a colossal structure covering around 6 square kilometres in area. The Tor rocks are multitudinous, and you may find some interestingly shaped ones to the north and west on top. Feature 97, Standon Ledge, at around 450 metres tall. Get to Standon Hill. This massive broad hill drops more steeply toward Baggator in the south, but tapers more gently towards the Tavy Cleave in the north, where its secondary tor sits, Standon Ledge. This is a minor tor, but placed in a picturesque stop-off area, which will be your main reward for finding it, as the rock stacks themselves are short and not so impressive, the main one forming a ledge shorter than an average man. It is a challenging adventure to reach it though. Long trousers are recommended. Starting at the military range huts of Standon Hill, reserve your energy and head north for maybe a kilometre. You'll first pass the odd blast rocks of Standon Hill's main tor, then enter grassland, which passes a couple of black hard peat structures in the ground, before deteriorating into a terrain of labyrinthine peat blocks that your ankles have to dodge between. I have never seen terrain like this anywhere else on Western Dartmoor, so it is unique, although sometimes maddening to get through. Persevere, and you'll pass the firing range pole line denoting your entry into a firing range, which hopefully you have planned for. Continue down the slope facing the Tavy Cleeve, and if you can, aim in a direction towards Tavy Cleeve South and North Tor. This line should hopefully bring you in the angle you need to meet the Tor. Standon Ledge's rockfield should become apparent to you now on the downward incline. You do not need to go so far downhill as the terraced step bump downward toward Gertor. The ledge is higher than that. Additional notes and firing ranges. Lynchtor and Limsborough are on Merivale firing ranges. Check the timetables and flags. Standon Hill is not on a firing range, but lies in an unusual gap between two of them. Standon Ledge, however, the secondary northern tor, lies inside the Willsworthy firing ranges. Please check live firing times online to avoid danger when approaching this tor from Standon Hill, and avoid them when the red flags are flying. Browsen Tor is a privately owned tor and has been left off this list, despite its proximity to Baggator, but you can seek permission from the landowners at Browsen Tor Farm.